You guys ready?
Okay.
Let's kick it.
She used to be an actress.
She ever do anything I saw?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know, the shows on TV.
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you're aware there's an invention called television, and on an invention, though, they show shows.
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick those shows on TV is they make one show, and that show is called a pilot, and that one show to the people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't become nothing. And become nothing. She started one of those that became nothing.
Ah, yes. Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, but you can call me the Warden, and by my side is the baddest bitch. It's Captain Philip Resisher. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
What's chillin', homie?
Monumentous. We're at the end of another season. Each time we finish a season, I think to myself, because that's how I refer to myself.
Sure.
I say, were we going to do another one? Are we going to do another one?
Season?
Yeah, and it's just, we're piling them on. I remember back when it was season 5.
See, I don't remember that at all. I've totally blocked it out. I barely remember season 18.
Really?
Mm-hmm. To me, that's the start of what we did.
We started in season 18?
In my mind, that's
In your mind.
Yeah.
So this has been like the most. We've done some, like, we did a game show season.
We did?
Did we?
I don't think we did.
Oh. We've done.
I remember that much.
We've done some.
We've done some themed seasons. One season we had all female guests.
Right.
One season we did all cartoons.
Yeah. Okay.
One season we did all British pilots.
Yeah, because Chris Tuckley sent us a list of them.
And that is all I can think of.
Okay. Well, so just to change things up a little bit because it gets mundane. But
I think you brought it up. We had Tim Wasson from Challenged podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think you brought it up on there. You're like, I'm sick of this fucking shit. Let's change it up. And I was like, whoa, pal.
Well, I think we were in. Pardon me. I think we had a string of shows. A string of pilots. Just they were all awful.
Well, that's the name of the game,
right? No, but
right?
We used to find one or two, like out of 10 that we could tolerate.
I totally agree with you. When you proposed this idea, I instantly...
And you said I do.
And I said I do, and I bow to you and I honor you. But no, I said, absolutely, let's do this. Because it is. After a while, it's kind of like being a warden or a prison guard in a prison, right? Every day you go and you see the worst of society.
Sure.
You get beat down mentally
Eat
and
horrible
physically.
food.
Oh, yeah. That's what...
Can't drink alcohol.
That's what this pilot is. Yeah. Sorry, pal.
Sorry.
Not even, what's that called? Pruno? Where the shit you ferment in your toilet?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Prison wine?
Bologna wine or something like that.
Oh, that sounds good too. But we keep watching television pilots, awful shows that had only one episode and didn't make it past that. It's going to have a negative effect on our lives. Right?
I'm a worse person because of it.
Absolutely. I'm a worse person too.
Just think if we would have did the Golden Girls podcast idea, we'd be done.
Yeah.
We would have been done by now.
I would have probably finished up my bachelor's degree. We both have probably got promotions at work.
Sure.
Our
marriages would be better.
Absolutely. I would be married instead of alone and miserable.
Right.
It would be a situation where we pump something positive into ourselves.
But we're putting negative ions into ourselves.
Now, what is an ion, you think? I thought it was like a millennia, but in terms of a million years.
Oh, no, an ion is an atom. Mm-hmm. It's Adam's brother, ion, and it's like the black version of an atom.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
That was pretty good.
TV shows that did make it. We're sick and we're tired and we're beaten down, and specifically you were downtrodden.
Right, but this is the last one, and then we have to go back to our shitty lives.
We had our vacation. It's over, folks.
Yeah, we had. This is the Pilot's Challenge. We each picked 5.
That was the Captain's Challenge.
Yeah, you're right. The Captain's Challenge, and this is the final one.
That's the first time I ever said that.
In a couple weeks, we're going to tally the scores of how many downloads your picks got versus how many downloads my picks got.
Did we ever come up with what we're doing? Is it just to
bragging rights.
Is it just bragging rights?
Just bragging rights and $50.
Okay. There's no belt like a wrestling belt. You say $50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
50 moose bucks.
So this is the last one. I'm excited to wrap it up and move forward with how we used to do things, but I'm also going to miss this too.
Sure, I'll miss it a little bit too.
Yeah.
But this is my pick. This is my last pick, and I picked the show Wentworth, which is on Netflix.
Yes, it's available to everyone. Pretty much everyone's got Netflix. If you don't, you can probably sign up for free for a month and watch it.
Oh yeah, it's got 8 seasons.
7 or 8.
Seven or 8 seasons.
And you said too, you're like, I love this program. It's Australian in nature, but I need to have a guest.
Right, because somebody turned me on to this show.
Okay, that there's like 3 commas there. I got a little jealous, honestly, because usually you look at me all starry-eyed, and I feel like I'm the one that turns you on. But we're talking about our guest today.
Yeah, we're talking about our guest. She is my work wife. I would say she's my work wife.
Work wife.
My work wife. And the reason why our relationship is going so well is because we're in 2 different buildings on the separate side of the city. And we only talk to each other through instant message. So there is, and not once in the thousands of times where I've messaged her or she's messaged me, not once has there ever been a question of her attitude during that. You know, sometimes you get text messages and you're like, I don't know how I should read this. We don't have that problem.
That's the problem with text messages. Let's get into that with our guest. Why don't you introduce her?
This is my work wife, Charity. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Have you ever been on an airplane before? Not one this
Not this
lavish.
one.
Yeah, not this one.
Yeah, we use the word
Like
lavish
first
a lot.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of instant messaging with Blake?
I do, and you know, he brings up a good point. There's a lot of messaging that goes on, including in the workplace, that
And we do talk about work stuff too.
where you are left to wonder the tone,
Right.
and the emotion behind those words. And I've never felt that with him either.
But there's
Never
got to be a
questioned.
way, though, that you can convey sarcasm or where you put
think we do
accents.
that.
We know how to do that.
Yeah.
Where it's obvious.
I don't know how to do that. You guys use italics? How do you convey
Italics,
those things?
caps.
Just phrases.
We actually have some secret words, some languages that we use.
Yeah.
That
Too
in case
secret, can't be said
they
here?
are monitoring our chats
Yeah.
at work, they won't.
They're not
know
inappropriate.
Who we're talking about.
We just talk about people.
Okay, gotcha. How did you? But if that's the only way you communicate, how did you guys set up those secret words?
I mean, it just sort of happened.
It's
I mean, we
organic.
have like common allies. We have common.
Non-allies.
On your
Non-allies.
what's the internal messaging that you guys use?
Jabber.
It's off the Cisco client.
Okay,
It's-
now can you see what Blake looks like when you type that in?
I cannot.
So
No,
were you super disappointed when you finally met him? You're like, oh my god,
No, we-
that's not at all what I saw you.
I don't think it. We had seen each other before we started talking to each other
Yeah.
Had we?
because you guys came through for a tour.
Okay. Now, see, I don't remember seeing him at that point.
But you remember seeing her.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's
Fair
an
enough.
observant fellow.
Yeah, he is.
All the stuff that Charity says is the opposite of what my wife says. It's amazing.
He's observant, and I would say that
she said I was a good communicator. Is what she
and-
said.
well, I mean, a good communicator, blabbermouth, whatever. Yeah. All right, very good.
So
You guys, she introduced you to the show. Is that right?
yes,
And I thought that was interesting because you communicate a lot with one of our super fans, Dee Dee, who lives in Australia.
right.
So she probably knows about Wentworth too. I made the assumption you knew about it because of her.
No, it was because of Charity.
And how did that come up?
I think we started talking about another show or something, or we were talking about the royal family.
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure how it came up, and it could have been the connection with the royal family. It could have just been that I'd been up late the night before, and I was like sucked into the show
I think
right now.
it started with me asking you if you watched 'Handmaid's Tale,
That could
and
be.
then
I could have said
yeah,
that
and then
I'm
Okay.
watching this other series
Wentworth,
right now.
yeah, and so and then when I started watching it was the last year when Molly was in Gulf Shores, and
That's right.
you know, Charity was like, "Oh, I'm on season 6, episode 7." You know, when we first started talking about it, I said, "All right, no spoilers. I'm going to catch up with you. And then 4 days later, I said,
4 days later, he's surpassed my watch.
Now, you were sitting on the last episode when he's like, I can't watch The Sopranos, and you're fucking binging this other stuff?
because it was on Netflix.
I told you I would let you borrow the DVD.
I don't have DVD players
Or CD players.
or CD players. I don't even have a tape deck.
Can't you put my DVDs in a CD player and listen to them?
You could be able to.
So that kind of says, okay, this is how Blake knows about Wentworth.
Right, yeah. So
I have a question, though, another question. How did you find out that he podcasts? Because the people that I work with have no idea.
I blabbed it. I probably.
I'm sure
Do
he
you blab
blabbed it, and I'm not sure at what point in our relationship that it came up.
Okay.
However,
I
have a feeling you probably didn't tell me for quite a while. I don't think that's something that came up
Right.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
I say awful things on this show all the time, so I would be a little embarrassed if people I work with are like, hey, remember when you said that awful thing? I'd be like, yeah. So I don't really tell anyone. There's one person at work, I think I went on a date with her once, and she knows, but I think she stopped listening a long time ago. But no one else really knows it. I would always be like, how would people react at work
Sure.
if they all knew? But how do you, you've listened to a couple, and how do you see him differently?
Not at all.
I think people that know me, and I've said this, I've been podcasting for, 13, 14 years now.
Sure.
I think that people that really know me know that, well, all the stuff I say is, I mean, there is a lot of truth. If you listen to all my podcasts over the years, you will get a complete layout of everything that's ever happened in my life.
It's a pretty good digital diary.
Yeah.
For you, yeah.
I think I said diarrhea. But I think people that know me just know when there is something that's a joke. And,
Yeah.
like sometimes when I say stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's Blake's hobby. It's my hobby too, doing the podcast. What is one of your hobbies?
Oh gosh, that's tough. Well,
Animal husbandry.
what?
taxidermy. No,
Ooh, taxidermy? For real taxidermy?
no, it
Okay.
just sounded like an interesting thing to.
I was
Dabble in.
interested.
I keep super busy. I have a second job. I have a foster child. I have a foreign exchange student that
Yes.
lives with me.
Oh, from where?
So my foreign exchange student presently is from Germany.
Okay.
I have Jonas here from Germany.
I
Do
bet,
you
I bet Jonas's mom doesn't not let him have beer.
She absolutely does. However, he does not like beer. He's very not German. He does not like beer at all.
Wiener Schnitzel?
He loves Wiener Schnitzel. That's what we had for dinner tonight.
Did you take him
Not
to the
gonna lie.
Hofbrau?
I have not taken him. I feel like a horrible host parent. I have cooked German food, and he's cooked German food, but I have not taken him down to the.
Can I tell you a quick story about the Hofbrau?
Please do.
Okay, so we're friends with some other local podcasters. They said, why don't you come out and have a couple drinks with us? I said, all right. He said, what do you think? Where should we go? And I said, well, we go to the Hofbrau. It's a nice Peoria institution, kind of low-key, quiet. We can go in there and have some drinks and not be like fucking Buffalo Wild Wings where they crank the music up to 10. I said, all right, let's do it. So we get together. We go with Blake. We go there. It's German food, obviously. That's why we're talking about it. And Blake is like, he's looking at the menu and he's like sweating profusely. He can't take it. He's freaking out. He's nervous. You know how neurotic he gets. He looks at the menu. He looks at the waitress. Back at the menu. Back at the waitress. Menu. Waitress. Waitress. Do you guys have any like hot dogs?
You didn't.
I said, do you guys have American food?
What's the most American food?
Yes.
And I always say this.
Did she just point to the door? And
I almost kicked him right in his fucking teeth. If you pick the spectrum of ethnic foods, I don't think there's many foods much closer to American food in general than German food.
story.
Anyway.
True story.
But Blake was like not having it. He's like, you got chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese back there?
I had pork.
Kool-Aid to drink.
Kool-Aid would have been. Oh, I miss Kool-Aid. I had I had pork chops, and mashed potatoes, and they were really good.
Well, they're like there you get a couple sides, and all the sides are personally what I go there for. I love the cream spinach. I love the red cabbage.
Cabbage is amazing.
I love the spatzel, right?
Yeah.
The noodles, it's just regular egg noodles.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should, dude, get the egg noodles. That's like a really bland thing. You love that. And like, well, we have mashed potatoes. And it's like, all right, I'll have mashed potatoes. So you have a second side. More mashed potatoes.
because I didn't want I was going to get a side salad,
yeah,
but they
yeah.
had tomatoes
Oh, what a bummer that would
and
be.
something else in them.
What goes on a side salad that you like? Lettuce?
That's
It's just dressing only?
No, it's lettuce,
Yeah, yeah.
Iceberg
onion.
lettuce.
It's iceberg lettuce, onion,
No colored lettuce.
Nothing. Yeah.
cheese, and croutons.
No carrots.
Oh God! No.
Oh my God, that's awful. No tomato, no carrots.
I went to Pizza Hut, and because I love the Pizza Hut salad bar. I love it because I got bacon bits.
That still exists?
There's only one. And it's in Washington.
Okay.
And we went, and I was like, I was excited. I was
Yeah,
like,
you pump yourself
I had a
up.
really bad day, and everything in that day went bad.
Right.
And then finally, I was like, this is going to be the one thing to save the day. So I go through, I get all of my stuff, and I go to the end where they're supposed to have the vinegar and the oil and the two separate things. They didn't have it. I go, oh, maybe they just had it put away. And I asked the waitress, I said, hey, can you bring out some vinegar and oil? She goes, oh, we're out of that. And I fucking wanted to shoot the whole place up.
I think there is a direct correlation with how miserable your life is in general with how picky you are with your food. I think it's a direct correlation.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
You think my life will be better if I eat more different kinds of food?
100%.
Oh, guaranteed.
It's not worth it.
Variety is the spice of life, and you, my sir, are living a lightly salted life. Oh, very lightly.
Seasoned salt.
It's not Himalaya. Yeah, it's a seasoned salt.
Lowry's.
You mentioned that's a great salt too. You mentioned a second job. Was it what? Did you say funeral director?
So I assist a funeral director.
Are you sticking tubes in people?
I have.
You have not.
I have recently.
Oh my!
Typically,
tell me about that.
So initially I started out with everything. I was cremations, removals, transporting bodies to local and sometimes further away places. But recently I've dabbled a little bit more.
In the embalming process.
That's right.
Wow. Do you have to take a class for this?
You do have to go to school for this. However, you can be present, for any of these things. Each state has its own set of laws. I think in Colorado, that's come up a few times. You do not have to be licensed to embalm.
Unreal. See,
You're
I
not
I
going
couldn't
to-
do that. I couldn't do that personally. I think it takes a certain kind of person. Maybe someone. Would you describe yourself as someone who has nerves of steel?
I think over time and with age, I've developed better coping mechanisms than most people, but I would never claim to have nerves of steel. I do well under pressure,
Yeah.
and I can probably handle more than the average person.
As you look at me, that's fine.
However, I wouldn't be so bold as to say I have nerves of steel. No way.
The closest thing I can come to was an escape room that you and I went to recently, and we did the one called the morgue,
Right.
And there was a fake
nice.
dead body in there.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the closest I can get to.
And I got in trouble for picking it up.
Yeah, you try to look under there to see if there's any clues when you're really just trying to take a sneak peek at her plastic ass.
And what you say, please be a...
Please respect the body,
Oh, yeah.
sir.
Please respect the body.
Respect the dead. Please put the body down, sir. Thank you.
So just how was the body realistic, or was it like a blow up, or was it like
No,
a
it was like
CPR doll, or
It was in the middle. It wasn't a blow up. It was like
It was like a foam molding of you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
So you didn't walk in the room and were kind of creeped out. It was fake enough to where
It was definitely fake enough. Yeah.
There was too much blood on it.
There's some. Yeah. It was an interesting thing.
And she had gross panties on. They were really weird looking.
Yeah, Blake traditionally likes to be turned on by his corpses. Man, that is
you
that
lost
is-
me at panties. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's called underwear. That calling them panties fetishizes women's underwear, and that's
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Really?
It's very dirty.
Yeah, bra.
Really?
It makes me. I assume they're unclean when you say panties.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't even sound sexual. It
bra.
sounds like,
Bra is okay. 'cause
Bra's
that's,
okay.
'cause that's short for brassiere. But we're talking about panties. We're talking about a fetish or some kind of fantasy or something.
Really?
Absolutely.
I
It's
said-
underwear.
I said
panties
panties
are like in a
1,000
wad on the floor. Like I don't.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like
Yeah.
sensual or sexual. It's just
I wasn't
panties.
trying to be sexual. I just
You-
thought that
I-
they weren't like
said they were
I
bad
believe your
panties.
intent.
they weren't good ones.
I believe your intent, and intent counts for a
Good
lot.
Panties.
Well, I'm sorry. I've offended everyone who wears women's underwear.
Fucking blabbermouth.
You're probably the only person in the room who wears women's underwear.
We're gonna have to cut that out of the show.
Whatever. You guys making stuff up.
Oh boy.
But
That's really interesting to me. Could you do that? Could you stick
no,
tubes in someone?
No, no.
I mean, it's something that has to be done. Well, okay, let me ask you this.
Well, it doesn't have to be done, but so yeah, I mean, you don't have to be embalmed, but in order to have a public viewing,
yes. So when I die, I want someone, maybe the local ice cream guy, to come by with a scoop and dig out what he can to help others, all my organs, right? And then he can just burn the rest. I don't need to fucking take up a lot of ground. I don't need to pay for that. I don't need all that shit. Just burn the rest, and then you can mix it in with your Ovaltine and consume me if you want. Whatever. What do you want to have done? You've seen all the different things that can be done. You've done these things. What have you decided you want to do when you're gone?
I like that you asked this question. First of all, I absolutely have no desire to be embalmed and have the big the viewing, if you will. I do like the idea of celebrations of life. I like that idea that it's not this morose, grieving,
right,
where everybody is celebrating the life that you lived and the things that the legacy, if you will, that you leave behind. However, I went from always wanting to be cremated because I felt like that was the ecologically friendly thing to do,
right.
and now I'm more interested in being buried. Basic wood box, or just straight up in the ground with a blanket.
Well, okay, the thing with the blanket, sometimes they have like a shroud,
right.
and then they like take a slingshot and they fire like an oak seed into your stomach, and then you become a tree.
I thought about being creative with it. I feel as if for thousands of years we've been buried in the ground, and it was part of a process for the earth.
Right.
And it, everything in our bodies sort of rejuvenated the earth, and the earth has taken the good things from us, much like fertilizer.
Yeah.
And we've gotten away from that, and I feel like we should probably get back to that, and maybe that would help along with all the other things that we're doing to make the environment better.
To me, it's littering. We're just throwing garbage into the ground in a big shiny box that costs $5,000. The Indians used to take fish. They would eat the fish, and they would take the guts. They'd throw like corn seeds in that, and they would plant them in the ground because all the guts and the nutrients. Same with our bodies.
That's exactly right.
We're animals, just like fish. We'll break down and we'll help the earth from which we sprang.
That's right. And we haven't done that for so long, and I think that if we got back to some of those practices, we could maybe see a turnaround in some of the environmental issues we encounter.
Less landslides.
Less landslides.
I mean, if we just piled us one another on top of each other.
I like that very much. All right, let's. We don't have any fan feedback. We'll skip it.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
All right, let's move along.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Are you comfortable in your chair and everything, and you can see out the window?
I could be more comfortable, but I'm
okay. Do you need a drink or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Do you like our air freshener we have hanging from the rearview mirror?
I
It's
do.
black suede.
I was hoping for vanilla or pine.
Nope,
but
black suede.
Black suede only. I
From
also
Avon.
petitioned for pine. He said no. We're doing black suede. I said, you know
I
what?
could have sworn it was Drakkar. But if you tell me it's black suede, I'm going to believe you.
There's not much of a difference. It's a stank.
close.
It's a stank that only a couple of colognes could have.
Kind of like bad panties.
Oh, I don't like that word. Please don't say that again. Okay, not in my presence. Anyway, today we discuss the pilot episode of Wentworth from the year of our Lord 2000 plus 13. Now that was a great year.
2013.
Yeah.
That was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was about 38. 38.
I was 32.
Yeah.
I'm 38 now, oddly enough. And you're 34.
I'm 44.
Oh, God, I can't
Party
believe it.
far.
I've never had a friend as old as you. It's incredible.
Really? Am I your favorite old friend?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Am I winning the race?
Yeah. Oh, boy. Have either of you been to jail or prison?
I have not.
No, I've never been.
I've been in a facility, however, I was not an inmate or.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever even been to a facility. I mean, like I said, when I worked at Zeller, I worked in the behavior unit, and it had double locked doors, and it was
fairly similar.
It was
actually.
fairly similar. I mean, the nurses station had 4x4s, so you couldn't get into,
We weren't able to come and go freely as patients.
Yeah, so.
Just south of here, we have I think a minimum security prison on the south side of Pekin. When they first built that, I took a tour. I was probably like 12 years old. I took a tour.
Why? For school?
I was a real bad kid. I was part of.
No, I didn't know if it was the
Scared Straight
program. Or
yeah, I had a bunch of guys come up to me and say that they were going to rape me on my first day of prison, and I was like, I won't come here. And you know what? Haven't been back since.
But why did you take a tour of it?
I don't remember. I think it was just available to be taken, and my mom was like, "Hey, this could be a cool thing." And I remember walking through that in probably the early '90s, I guess, when it opened. I've also been to jail a couple times. I used to date a lady who went to jail, so I went and visited her in jail. And I had a friend who loved drugs, and then I went and visited him in jail. And I've been at what? God, I gotta get some new friends.
That's one of my ways too, bailing somebody out for DUI.
Gotta get some new friends. This is.
Well, knock on wood, I haven't been involved in any of that.
Have you ever had to go bail someone out?
No.
Wow.
I don't think I could.
I have too. You've done it, right?
I have. I've bailed somebody out for DUI.
Would you bail Blake out?
I probably wouldn't call and ask you. I would feel way. I would be like that.
Level.
Well, I would just feel like that was way putting. I felt bad for inviting you to be on a podcast because I know you're a busy person. So I really don't want to put that kind of pressure on you as well.
So who exactly? You would only call your wife. You would.
No. I would call
that was my
Jason.
question.
You would just stay in for the weekend.
I would call Jason.
Okay, that was my question. Who would you contact?
I would call
contact
Jason.
Me?
Yeah.
They're like, God damn, I gotta break the fucking piggy bank and get.
Or
over
I
it.
would just say, Hey, Jason, can you find me somebody to do it?
Go over and bother your mom.
No.
That's the first. I know exactly where she lives. I'd go over there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Who would I find? Chad, your brother? Probably Chad. He'd be cool.
I don't think he would. And he's not even live that far from it.
He would love it.
I don't think he could make it there.
He would love that someone was giving him attention.
That's true.
All right. 2013. Like you said, 7 years ago.
Sure.
And anytime someone says anything past 2000, essentially, I'm thinking, not that long ago. 7 years in the course of a human life? That's a chunk. That's a good chunk.
Yeah.
7 years. It's not 2013 now, so we have to go back to 2013
In our minds.
And we do so by talking about things that happened that year, including North Korea conducts its third underground nuclear test, prompting widespread condemnation and tightened economic sanctions from the international community. I tell you right now, underground nuclear test, that's how you get mutant mole people.
Yeah, well, I mean, why would you do it underground? You're going to contaminate your soil.
Yeah. And we're just talking about dead bodies. If you got dead bodies in the vicinity, you might be bringing some of those people back to life.
Oh, that's true.
We could have a zombie apocalypse situation
Because
via
of nuclear
tests.
testing.
I think that was the plot of Bring Out the Dead, starring Nicolas Cage. So
I never saw it.
yeah, it's not worth it. February 21st, American scientists use a 3D printer to create a living lab-grown ear from collagen in animal ear cell cultures. In the future, it is hoped that similar ears could be grown to order as transplants for human patients suffering from ear trauma or amputation. Would you guys accept a 3D printed body part if you needed it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if you were just referencing the ear itself, but yeah, if I was missing a part, I mean, I'm intrigued by that's the part they chose to create. It was an ear,
Yeah,
as opposed to
A penis.
right.
Like I mean,
That's
I would assume. I would assume.
Yeah, you'd assume the first thing would be a
That's the one. That's the one that's come. That's the one that has the most prop. I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, anytime there's like an advancement in technology, like you know what we got now? We got the Ultra 4K television, and you say, "Oh, that's great." Ultra, it's going to look realer than you or I sitting here. What can I see on that? It's like, well, you can download the National Geographic channel, and that's in 4K. Or there's this hardcore pornography. Porn is, as we talked about, is always on the forefront of technology. So of course, when you're going to 3D print something, it's got to be a huge fucking cock, right?
Right, for sure.
That's what I would go for.
I've never actually like seen one of those 3D printers like in person.
Yeah.
But I recently
Sure, yeah.
I recently ate a pencil, and I watched a television show that the main focus of like this virus that was
The coronavirus?
There was a different virus that was being spread, and they were spreading it via the 3D printer.
What does that mean?
I didn't know he was via penis. It was being spread via...
That's how I've spread all of my viruses.
It's called herpes, and it's been around for a millennia. It's been around for an ion.
It was that medical police.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I didn't give anything away.
Okay, that's fine. I think I will watch it.
You should. You should.
So guys would want a bigger penis, I think, right?
Well, I'm just saying that I would think that would be a pretty simple body part that you could recreate and that does have damaged stuff happen to it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't 3D print a heart. I mean, it's a little harder. or like a finger.
Right.
There's a lot of tendons and stuff in it, but like a penis is just a tube with a hole in the middle
You're
of
saying
it.
the penis is just not complex at all.
Not complex enough for a 3D printer.
It's just a tube with a hole in it.
It's the same as an ear, I would think.
Charity, what would a woman want to be 3D printed?
Well, I mean, probably a penis.
Sure, you guys thought I was a fool when I said it, but
yeah, hey, no, what the phrase "penis envy" didn't just appear, right? Of course, everyone wants one. Every
no
person
one's
on the
big
planet,
enough.
right? Everyone on the planet wants a huge penis and boobs, right?
That's probably inaccurate.
yeah.
I was looking at Blake's search history. I can tell you what I think he thinks it's accurate. February 28th, Benedict XVI resigns as Pope, becoming the first to do so since Gregory XII in 1415, and the first to do so voluntarily since Celestine V in 1294. That's kind of a landmark situation.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Are you a fan of the Pope?
I like a couple of his albums.
Yeah. Which ones?
Hit That Vatican. I Don't Know That Kid. That's one of my favorite albums.
I never met that kid.
And the newest album that it came out with is Ain't No Smoke Coming Out of My Roof.
It's pretty good. That's how they choose the Pope, right? That's a pretty good reference.
Thank you.
I like that there is, like, I'm not really a religious guy, but I like the idea that there is, like, a head of a church, like one guy. I don't know. I kind of like that. Maybe, hey, call me old fashioned, but I like that there's a Pope. I don't pray to him. I don't want to go see him or kiss his.
Did you see
fucking
that?
ring.
Did you see the Pope recently slap that lady's hand?
Oh, that
she
was
wouldn't
great.
That was hilarious.
What did she do?
So great.
She
He
wouldn't let go.
apologized later, but
Yeah.
the video is amazing.
Yeah.
He's fallible. What did the lady do?
So
to
the
deserve
lady
that?
reaches out because she's got to touch the Pope, right? And
You gotta touch the
There's
Pope.
things that transfer from him that we all need, and she reaches out and he shoots back and he's like, "Get off me!" And
Yeah.
he gives like the best face.
So she wasn't doing anything nasty. She just wanted
No,
to
she
touch the Pope.
She was a little aggressive.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was
Being
aggressive.
being aggressive a little bit.
Can't do it.
But and then like she said, the next day he's like, "Hey, I kind of apologize to that lady for
I
that.
went too far. She was aggressive. I was aggressive.
Hey, two aggressives don't make a right."
Charlie, you know why we watched Wentworth? There's 3 reasons. Do you have any idea what those reasons are?
I feel like I was prepped for this,
And then I feel like I didn't prep
and
you.
then I feel like
I told you I was going to prep you, and I feel like
there
I
was
didn't.
going to be some preppage, and it didn't happen.
I would love to tell you that there are no wrong answers, but that simply isn't true.
I feel like he probably prepped me, and I
I meant to email him and I forgot.
That's right. This will help you out. I'm play some music here real quick.
Just take your time and think. Well, obviously we don't make any money on this podcast, so one of the rules is the show has to be
Gratis. Free.
Cumpos gratis, so it's free.
Oh, I didn't know you spoke Italian.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
And thanks. Yeah, Italian meatball. Yeah, a rigatoni. Yeah. Anyway, another one would be we do everything on streaming and on the internet, right? So we have to find it on the internet. And the main rule is normally that it was a failed pilot that never went to series, but this season
I wondered about that.
we got
it's something that you love.
right.
The
Oh, I
third
love
pillar
it.
is that you chose it because you love it and it succeeded.
And I probably watched 70 episodes like within 5 days.
That's insane.
It's true.
How has your life changed since then when you can accommodate a binge watch like that versus now watching The Sopranos?
Because
over
Molly
there?
was gone. Molly was gone. I didn't have any responsibilities. I didn't have to go pick up Eli.
You say the word and I'll get Molly out of here.
The word.
It's done.
The word.
Hey, consider it done.
Okay. All you gotta do is say the word.
All right, well, you can find
Bird?
You can find the entire episode of Wentworth by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to Netflix and check out the YouTube.
Flight attendants.
Gotta put like some punctuation in there or something.
Yeah, that's that's a really good idea. You were talking. Oh, careful. There's DSJ.
There he
Charity,
is.
look down there. Steve DSJ with the golden cones. Wave to him.
It's our tarmac worker, DSJ. The J stands for John. Don't worry about what the other things stand for. Summary: the pilot, B. Smith, enters prison for being charged with the attempted murder of her husband. B is separated from her daughter and sent to Wentworth on remand. She is then forced to learn how the prison works.
A+.
He likes to grade it, the traditional grade from school, A through F. How would you like to grade that summary?
The summary?
Right.
I'd say B+.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. Ooh, crap. I'll get some duct tape for that window. You haven't broken a window in a long time. Anyway, geez, you broke two of them. Jason has scoured the internet to look for facts about this pilot that may be interesting, and they may not be interesting. Charity, this is your first time being on the show. It's important that you don't express your thoughts on these facts. They're facts. There's nothing you can say or do that's going to change it.
Okay.
And just
there might be people listening for the first time, and if they're listening with someone else, you don't want to taint that person's experience by reacting to the facts. He loves the word taint, and not because it rhymes with paint.
So just keep your opinions to yourself, and we'll just get through it. He gets really mad if you give your opinion. Okay? No pressure. I've only done about 17 times in the 200 episodes.
You don't know!
Hey, will you play Dog Police for her real quick?
Oh, yeah, I love that song. Tell me what you think of this song.
Just give it a little bit of time. Because you like dogs.
I do like
Yeah,
dogs.
you'll love this one.
What do you think about police? Are you pro-police? You ever have to embalm a policeman?
I have not.
What do you think so far?
That was way more intense than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense song. Just like camping, it's super intense.
This was a music video that ended up being a pilot television show.
Do you believe that?
No.
A music video, a song in a music video. We said we want to make a TV show out of this. It's almost crazier than the Progressive or Geico Cavemen.
Right. It was real human beings with rubber prosthetics on
Adam Sandler was in it. No joke.
for 15
No joke.
seconds. And he was like, "This is shit."
Hold on a sec. Did Dee Dee say she liked the song?
Yeah.
Remember we had Jacob on? He's like, I had heard this song?
Yeah.
That's one of the craziest things that's ever happened.
Okay. Charity's falling asleep. She wants to bite into this pilot.
That's
but
fine.
after you tell us some interesting facts about it, that you know what, me and Charity, I would say are big fans.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you came up with some things that we didn't know.
Wentworth is an Australian television drama program. It
Knew
was
that.
first broadcast on Soho on May 1st, 2013. The series serves as a contemporary reimagining of Prisoner, which ran on Network 10 from 1979 to 1986. Fact.
Yep. Me and Charity knew that one.
All right. In many interviews, the cast have all said that the series has made everyone in the show give it their absolute all and has taken a toll on many of the actors, but they say it's worth it to produce such quality TV for a wide audience base. Fact.
Are they saying like taking this toll like mentally,
Right, that's
emotionally?
I think so.
that's definitely a fact that is new to me. I'm also wondering the same. Physically, mentally.
Yeah, they say like
Spiritually?
Heath Ledger, an Australian fellow. He played the Joker in The Dark Knight. He said they like locked himself in a hotel room for like a month, doing all this different prep work for the character. But actors, essentially empty vessels, will abuse themselves and torture themselves in ways to become these characters, and it takes a toll.
I remember reading about Billy Crystal when Harry Met Sally. You know, I mean,
How
the
so?
way he dove in to that character.
I heard he had 5 perms leading up to that.
Yes, yeah, and City Slickers 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to a ranch and just stayed out on a ranch for months and months and months.
Sure, he did. Yeah.
And you would never see a Jewish person do that.
The Wentworth building in Newport is actually a former Victorian TAFE building. I'm not sure what that is. The show required special permission from the relevant departments within the corrections and education departments before they were allowed the set to be built inside. The original set in Clayton, used for season 1 through 3 filming, was a purpose-built set. The series began filming at its current location site at the start of Series 4. And series, of course, is the Australian and also British way of saying season.
Ah.
And good
Fact.
Fact.
According to the cast, when they first started getting fan mail during season 1, a lot of it came from ex-correction officers thanking them for getting officer life right when they were on the job. Fact.
Okay. I mean, that's not why I can't say anything. Just all I can say is it's fact.
I have an unbelievable amount. You can tell me when you've had enough. Okay, I'll let you decide. Since
Just pick your top 5 favorite.
more. 5 more. You want 5 more?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have them organized by favorite at all. But in the first 3 seasons, Wentworth was filmed on I already said that. Let's see. Like any show with radio call signs, many characters Sierra number changes. Does that make sense? That sentence doesn't make sense.
That don't make sense.
The character of Linda Miles is a nod to prisoner officer Colleen Powell due to both characters and heavy use of sarcasm.
It must be a British
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
Let's see. As research, the principal cast and production team toured Dame Phyllis Frost Center in Deer Park, Victoria, meeting inmates and staff. B. Smith shares the same inmate number as her namesake predecessor in prison, cell block H from 1979. The number is 329460.
That's cool.
Well, it's not for you to say. I really wish you wouldn't say that. During the filming of a fight scene in season 2, Nicole De Silva broke her wrist. Fact. Who's Nicole De Silva? Do you guys know?
We do.
Which one is that?
That's Frankie.
Okay, it's Frankie. I didn't know. I don't know the actresses'
Oh,
names.
okay.
I don't speak Australian, so I don't know that. I can't read their names. But if you would, yeah, when she said Frankie, yeah.
The series won its 3rd Logie Award, which has to be Australian. They say weird stuff all the time, like Didgeridoo. Who comes up with a fucking name like that? They won the Logie Award for Outstanding Drama Series during the 2019 Logie Awards.
Is that kind of like the Emmys?
I would assume that it is. Let's see. The series was voted Show of the Decade by TV Tonight.
Wow.
The UK premiere of the show attracted 1.67 million viewers, a 10.3% share of the audience for the 10 p.m. time slot.
You know what is really anyway.
Oh, wow, thank you for that.
What I think is really fun is every time you read a fact, me and Charity just kind of look at each other and go, "Ooh, like, ooh, we're sharing in we're sharing in something. This is nice."
I'm glad I can at least be adjacent to that.
facilitating
You
this
guys,
for us.
You're adjacent to it.
I am adjacent. Let's see here. The series is considered to be an Australian remake. Why is it? The British prison drama series Bad Girls from 1999.
Which I've also seen.
Really?
Okay.
You'd like it.
I'm gonna write this down. Bad Girls.
Yeah, he is going to write that down. Let's see. I'll do one more. The character of Will Jackson, played by Robbie Magasiva, had a character's background change as the character was originally going to be cast as an Australian guard, was changed to suit Magasiva. Who is it? What is he?
He was like a Samoan guy, right?
Yeah, or maybe
Will.
part Aborigine as well. I'm
Yeah.
not
Will
entirely
is
sure.
in this episode.
He is.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I know Will.
It's the governor's husband.
Right.
Yep.
Did you say I know Will?
I mean,
We don't know him.
went out to dinner
You know.
once. So just, Twitter responses, I guess.
Twitter responses. I wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
I've done my due diligence. I have no Twitter responses.
I really thought this would be one that they would,
I thought someone would chime in.
because they're probably prepping for because the new season's supposed to come out sometime
It
this
is
year.
coming out.
So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to hashtag some people.
Now, when you say the next season's coming out, or next series, as it were, in Australia, is it released weekly on one of their networks and Netflix picks it up, or is it exclusively on Netflix now and drops all at one time?
It drops all at once for
yeah,
us.
it drops all at once. For
Yeah,
us.
and it comes out
for us, but it comes out weekly in Australia?
I don't know. I think this drops. I don't.
Like The Walking Dead is a good example, right? The Walking Dead comes out. I think it's got 2 parts of a season, 8 episodes apiece on AMC exclusively. It's on the AMC channel.
Okay.
But then a year later, when the next season comes out, they drop all of it on Netflix at one time. Is it like that, you think?
That's a good question. It's quite possibly drops for them as well.
Yeah, I would
if
think.
It's a Netflix
I think
thing,
I think it drops for them as well because when one comes out, it you don't have a whole bunch of you already know stuff's going to
right.
happen.
There's no way they were gonna not
Yeah.
get an account and stream all of it.
We are going to go fast and furious. We got, I think it's about a 48-minute pilot here for Wentworth. Please chime in whenever you like. We're going to set the clock for 10 minutes. Blake, do you want to start us off?
Sure. We start off with Bree Smith, and AKA Red, and she is in a van and she's going to a jail. We don't know why. It's nighttime. She's being transported.
And she's looking at all the people outside, all the people that are free.
Right.
Right? And who's he in there with? Is this a character that comes up again or not?
She comes in and out. I think she's not like a significant
Yeah,
character.
she's not somebody that plays a solid role in the
Right.
series, but I think you may or may not see her again.
I think she comes back.
Well, I'll tell you what she does do. Is she sucks a guy's dick for a pack of smokes.
She does.
Yeah. So it's the van driver, right? He's like...
Well, no, it's
He's actually an officer.
yeah, it's the first stage when they're coming in there. It's the first stage.
Is that guy a reoccurring guy?
No,
No.
I don't.
No,
We don't.
okay.
No, he was
Okay.
just a guy getting his dick sucked.
Guy who got a 3D printer on him, huh?
Daddy, you're an actor? Yeah. Well, what role did you play?
Nah, don't worry about it.
Prison guard getting his dick sucked. She goes in for processing, right? And she kind of freaks out because this is not somebody that's had problems with the law before.
Yeah, the girl who blew the other guy, she's like, "This is your first time in." It's very clear that she's not familiar with this process. She's scared. She doesn't know what to make of all this. Right.
And she's, this situation that happened to get her in there has just recently happened. She's having flashbacks as this all is happening.
Throughout the entire episode, we're seeing little bits and pieces of her life.
And you continue to see those for a couple of episodes, I think, until it gets... Because she never really wants to tell anybody the whole story.
Right.
It's a pretty chill opening because after she flips out while in the prison, when she first gets there and is getting interviewed, it goes to the intro of the show, and it's a pretty chill opening. It's kind of a lot of blues, a lot of panning of the
Mint green.
Yeah, a lot of kind of like just chill colors, right?
Right, and it's just pictures of throughout the prison, like
Yeah.
different, so, and yeah, there's a lot of green. There's a lot of green in this.
Throughout the throughout the series itself.
She's taken to a cell, and it's kind of like everyone's got their own cell, but there's also a lot of common areas and kind of like a lot of...
Yeah, that's what I thought was weird. Because I thought every prison was just a row of cells, but this is like they have units.
Yeah.
And you can like hang out on the unit. You just got to be in there, and you're not actually locked in that unit. I mean, in your specific cell.
Yeah.
You're locked in the unit at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any? I mean, I don't know. Is it because it's a women's prison, or I don't know. No, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Well,
She goes to check out her cell, and when she goes in there, there's a couple of ladies getting it on. And
yeah, that's Frankie and
Kim?
Kim.
I think it was Kim.
Yeah, Kim is Frankie's
girlfriend,
right.
and they're hot and heavy,
They are totally naked.
and you will see a lot of this kind of stuff happening.
What?
Along with stabbings and stuff, but there's just as much sex as there is stabbing.
See, to me, that was the promise of Orange is the New Black. And I saw one of those episodes with some lady, and I was like, all right, this is good. This is going to set the tone. It was like the most boring fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Nothing happened.
Charity, did you watch Orange is the New Black too?
I've watched some of it. I haven't completed the series, and I'm not current.
I watched maybe one season with Molly, and I think these are completely different. I think
Absolutely.
to
I
me,
feel
this
like
is more
it's almost-
realistic.
Exactly. I feel like much of the Orange is the New Black is comedic. I mean, there's obviously some emotional undertones that they try to touch on, and
Right.
there's a bit of character development, but nothing like
Yeah, no,
what
this
you'll
is this
see
is
here.
very in depth. This is very in depth character. I mean, this goes deep as we go along in the series.
So, B, she alludes to having a daughter. Her name is Debbie. And then there's a woman who helps. She's also an inmate, but she's kind of helping B get acclimated. And then she meets Frankie and Kim.
Yeah.
And then what's the black lady's name? She has
Doreen, and she has a kid.
Does she? Okay. What's going on with that? The kid is throughout the episode Does this child live in prison? There's
That's one of the unique things about British prisons that is actually true. They're actually able to have in a woman's prison have their child with them. Baby.
That has
child.
to be the worst thing you can do for a kid, right? Bring them up in that environment.
But for
Well,
some
and
of them,
that's actually referenced for a split second in the show when B says it's like the worst possible.
yeah,
place.
and she goes.
But their prisons are, I mean, we're talking about a show, but even the shows, you'll notice a difference between American prisons and British prisons.
right.
It might be a nicer situation, might be a better setup for them, but I mean, we're talking about being in there with women who are maybe addicted to drugs,
Right.
maybe women who are killers, and you're gonna have a baby 10 feet from them. What the
Right.
fuck is going on? That I couldn't wrap my head around. I was really trying to okay, she's holding the baby. That's really weird. Is the baby coming in and out? It seemed like the kid lived there. That's
I know.
fucking weird.
I think that was my takeaway the first time.
Oh
too.
my
Yeah.
god.
You're just
And-
kind of thrown off. There's a child
Right.
on the screen.
100%.
Because we've never seen that in we don't see that in U.S. American
Escape.
prisons.
It wasn't an escape from Alcatraz. I'll tell you that right now.
No, and the older lady, the blonde-haired, curly-haired lady, that's Liz,
Right.
and she is like the counselor, like the advocate,
Right.
peer worker.
She
Like,
sort of introduces the new inmates to the
Gets
the
them-
type of life that they're going to have to.
gets them acclimated. And
Right.
she's the voice. She's the voice of the inmates to the governor.
Right.
So now it's time to eat. So they're in the cafeteria or whatever, and B is now in her uniform. She requested a uniform, and she sits with the rest of the girls from her. I guess it's her block.
Yeah.
Is that right? And
H block.
and then the guards are talking, and they're like, "Hey, we realize drugs are coming, and we think Frankie is most likely. Not only is she kind of the top chick of her block, since this lady named Jax is out of right now,
Right.
But we also think that she's responsible for bringing in some drugs. I think they mentioned meth by name.
Yeah. So what kind of a reoccurring thing is in every prison there is a top dog.
Right.
And so the top dog, which is Jax, she's in lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay. So then
Frankie.
Frankie takes over that role.
Yep.
Not by Jax saying it's okay, just by doing it. And she's she's smuggling drugs into and then selling them.
Yep.
That's what she's doing.
So this meeting is going on where they think it is Frankie. And what's the name of the governor's name? Was it Mickey? Mick? Something Jackson, right?
Yeah, it's Mrs.
Oh, it's
Jackson.
Meg. It's Meg.
Meg.
Meg Jackson. And so everyone leaves, but a fella stays behind. We mentioned before, Will Jackson, and that's her husband, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of hanky at work, but not much panky.
Yeah,
Right?
there's a little bit of hanky. It was inappropriate.
So we go to the next scene. We're in a hallway, and everyone's kind of waiting in line for phone usage. And then Frankie kicks B to like the back of the line. Here is an accent barrier for me. I didn't understand what they were talking about. She hands her a piece of paper to sign, and she basically kicks her to the back of the line. And I think she's kind of puffing up and showing
Sure.
her who's boss. But what was that paper?
Do you want to explain it? You know?
Is it referring to who's in line for the phone use, or is it something to get her to be the mule later on?
It's to get her to be the mule because she's gonna have. She wants B to
She's
sign
add
this
somebody to the
paper.
list
to
for
add-
visitors.
Yep. It is
Yeah.
that she doesn't know and to bring drugs in.
Oh, okay. So she's saying, "Hey, I
Coming up with her fake boyfriend's
yes."
name.
So they're getting a guy for her to meet. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally. I didn't realize that was. Throughout this time, we're also getting more flashbacks of when B gets arrested. And then this kind of same scene keeps going over and over where she's being dragged away and her daughter's yelling for her, right?
And throughout the episode, as the episode goes, you do find out more and more information of why. And let's just basically just say it real quick because we don't run out of time. Is her husband was a huge douchebag and
His name
beat
was
on her.
Harry or something.
Yeah, Harry. Then he beat the shit out of her all the time.
And
so-
he would essentially, it looked like he like raped her too, right?
Yeah,
Where
I
he
mean-
was just like forcing sex on this
Right.
lady. Yeah.
And eventually she, B's like, fuck, I'm not doing this no more.
Somehow knocks him out. Yeah.
knocks him out, gets him in the car, and starts, putting the tailpipe into the, so carbon monoxide. Then all of a sudden, she sets it all up and starts it up, and then her daughter comes home. It's like, and so then she's like, fuck, stay out there. She's like, what's going on? Daughter comes in and sees it. B's like, fuck, now I'm not going to get away with this, and this is, my daughter had to see this. So she starts to pull him out. The daughter calls the ambulance and says, hey, I think bring an ambulance. My dad appears to have attempted suicide. So then you find out that, okay, the daughter and the mom come up with this plan of saying, hey, he tried to kill himself.
Right.
He doesn't die. the police are like, okay, she tried to kill you. He says no. I tried to kill myself so she didn't go to jail.
Right.
And comes home and then
Kind of roughs her up.
her up again. Then we've come to find out that she does get charges pressed against her and she goes to jail.
So she signs this paper to have this guy come in, and it's like is it conjugal? Is that what it's called, conjugal?
No, I think these are
No, just a normal
Yeah,
visit.
these are
Okay.
conjugal visits happen later on in this series, but this is just a regular.
Does conjugal imply sex? It does.
Yes.
So what does the word conjugal mean then? You know?
It's when okay, Jason. It's when a man and a woman they love each other and
Sure. Yeah.
and they have sex with each other.
They do what now?
They have sex with each other. Sex with each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they touch each other and stuff.
I thank you for being so open and honest about this stuff. With
I'm gonna be great when I talk to my kids about sex, aren't I?
your kids are like 14 and 22 respectively. These kids are waiting for you every day. Is it going to be today? I don't know about sex. I don't have access to the internet.
I wish you would not talk to me about my bowling game and would have talk to me about my sexual game. Sorry, I digressed.
So she goes and meets this guy who's obviously some scumbag piece of shit.
He tries to put a bag of drugs in her mouth by kissing her, and she doesn't kiss him. And he's like, "Hey, bitch,
You stupid bitch.
Yeah, he's like, "We're gonna do this again in 20 minutes when I leave, and you're gonna
act like you like it."
Which I've said that to girls before.
She does.
Quit throwing up. Act like you like.
She plays along. It gets it in her mouth. She swallows it, which is what I would do.
You have to.
And then they strip search her. But why did they want it out of her so quick? Was it going to break down inside of her and fuck her?
If it breaks down, it will kill you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I didn't
if
know.
the package itself opens while it's in your body, you'll die.
Okay.
And you have amino acids and stuff in your stomach,
Right.
That will eat away at that rubber or balloon or whatever.
Right.
Okay, I thought it was.
Break it
I
down
thought
over
she would
time.
just shit it out and they would get it. But Frankie was like, "Oh, you did it. Let's get it out of you quick." And as soon as they do get it out, all the prison guards are there like, "Oh, hey, great, come on, you're coming with us."
Yep.
Going in the hole.
And she totally keeps quiet about it. She doesn't tell anyone that she did that. That it was from Frankie. She made it sound like it was all her because she didn't want to be a narc.
Sure.
She'd be fucking shanked the next day.
Yeah,
right?
and this is what 2 days into being in prison.
Yeah.
You're like in this situation. You're like,
Right.
fuck, guys, look, give me some breathing room. Let me get acclimated to the time switch.
She won't talk. They put her in the hole or whatever. They bring her out. She still doesn't talk. And then Jax, it looks like. Jax returns. Jax is like an older lady. Probably
Jax is hardcore.
55, 60.
Yeah,
right?
and she is the baddest of all bitches.
She is.
She,
I like when she comes out into the room and they say, "You look older."
Yeah.
Does Jax die eventually? That's a yes. Okay, who kills Jax? It's got to be B. B kills Jax and becomes the baddest bitch.
I can't.
Nailed it.
I want people to watch this, so I'm not going to, I didn't care about Sopranos, but
Yeah, I was gonna say last episode in The Sopranos, you were pumping me for spoilers, and I was barfing them out left and right.
because I think on this show, any spoiler really ruins a lot.
It does.
It's not, It
Okay,
really ruins a lot.
I looked
And
into
we're
a little bit. Yeah, you guys are invested. I looked into a little bit, and I know a big spoiler. And should I say it or not?
No.
Okay, fine, I won't say it.
won't.
Anyway, she stands up to Jax, which is not great for her. And then basically they have a big... Frankie and Jax don't get along. They have a big confrontation out in the yard, right?
Right, and then so they start shanking.
riot, yeah.
Yeah, a riot. A riot happens. And again, this is, like you said, this is no place for a kid to be. There is a riot going on. People are freaking out. B is taking care of, what was it?
Kayla. It's an unusual pronunciation.
Yeah, Kaya or something like that. And she's like, Kaya's like, this whole riot's going on. He's like, I want my teddy bear. So she goes in the other room, comes back, and the kid's gone.
You don't leave the kid alone, idiot.
Why would you do that? She's just carry her to the other
she
room.
was smart enough to not say anything when interrogated about turning in Frankie, but she's like, "Oh yeah, let me get your teddy bear," while they're kicking each other's teeth in.
Unreal.
So B is running through the halls trying to find her. Just trips and falls over a dead body.
Yeah.
Dead body. Look down. Who is dead body? The governor,
Yeah.
Mrs. Jackson.
Yep.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
This prison riot was for real. Never meant to make your husband go crazy. I'm sorry you're so
That's
lazy.
another spoiler.
There's
It made the husband go crazy.
I didn't know that. There's a HBO show called Oz, which is right before The Sopranos.
Terrific show.
I never watched all of it. I watched the first episode, and I was really engaged in the first episode. I don't know why I didn't continue to watch it, but spoiler alert for the first episode, you're following, I believe, this like a young Hispanic guy through the whole episode, and you're like, this guy's okay. This guy's in the prison. He's encountering all these different folks, having these different conversations. And this guy you've been following for the whole episode, he dies at the end of it.
The first episode?
In the first episode. Because I didn't know anything about it other than there was kind of this gritty HBO drama.
Right.
And then,
Super gritty.
And I was like, okay, so this is the guy. Not the guy at all. Murdered at the end. Same thing about Meg Jackson at the end. You're like, this is the lady who's really trying to. She seems strict. She didn't seem like a bad person, but she seems strict. And at the end of the first episode, done. She's dead.
Yeah. And you had to have somebody important die in that. You know what I mean?
I think so.
You had to have somebody important die. And it really set up the position of governor and how in whoever's in there, how they deal with the prisoners causes a lot of whether it goes bad or good for the most part.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Turbulence. Oh, I just want to read a couple of my favorite lines.
I have a feeling I'm going to know one of these.
Clitty liquor.
I knew it. That's the one I knew.
Hold on a second. All right.
That was the only one.
That's the only line.
No, but the other line was make your own damn tea. I'm in here for what are you in here for, like a tax evasion or something? And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, I was in here for, and you list all
She lists this
an
huge
attempted
list
murder,
of-
so make your own fucking tea or something like that.
Yeah.
While it's better than the British slang for cigarette, they say ciggy a lot, right? Did you
Yeah.
guys catch that? Ciggy?
Another character we didn't get a chance to talk about, we didn't get to see a lot of. We got to see a little bit of. It was Boomer, and Boomer ends up being one of my favorite characters too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, she was awesome. She was the really heavy set lady.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She comes in and rescues
she was-
Frankie.
She
from
oh yeah.
She was the muscle.
mutilated.
Yeah. Frankie got Jax
attacked by Jax's
Jax
girls.
cut her tata.
Well, she's gonna. I think Jack's saying what we're gonna do now is cut your tits off.
Yeah.
And she got across the top, which honestly, from my research, was one of the goofs from the episode, where you could see the blood being kind of dragged across her breast rather than actually. It was obviously one of those things where the knife is like letting fake blood come out.
okay.
So it was that was one of the goofs of the episode. The slicing.
But she does
of her
keep that
breast.
scar, and I think that scar seems like it's different. Like it seems like it goes up and down as opposed to across. So
And see, I wasn't sure, and I have to revisit the episode because I'm later on after having read about the episode, it sounds as if she's talking about cutting off her tats because that's how Frankie identifies herself in prison by some of those tattoos rather than tits.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the accent.
No, I know.
It's
I
the fact-
assumed it was tits the first time I ever saw it,
Yeah,
and then later
okay.
on,
Yeah,
having
it was
read
right
about
above-
the show, it's about the tattoos.
it was
that
right
she has.
above the tattoo.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. Good call. Okay, so you don't have to say specifically, but a prison full of ladies. Is there a lot of death in the show? Is there a lot of turnover with these characters due to death?
I wouldn't say there's a lot of turnover. There is the introduction of so many people that you get associated with. That there's a lot of people.
And I have a huge spoiler for season 4. I can't mention it. No.
I don't know.
I'm going to leave that.
I mean, I've seen it all, and she's seen it all.
Should I not mention it here on the show?
I
though?
wouldn't because
Okay.
I do want people to check it out.
Okay, fair enough.
People can write you on Twitter if they want the spoiler.
We'll talk offline because I do have a question about a future spoiler. You probably know what I'm mentioning, but is there anything wrong with this episode? Is there something that you would change?
You guys start.
You're going to leave me to start with that one.
Actually, I know what Blake would say. I'll give you a second to think. Blake would say, not nearly enough nudity.
No, I was happy with the nudity. I saw
You're fine with the nudity?
I saw B's bare butt, and I saw Frankie and Kim, and
Frankie's a good-looking
I see
lady.
Frankie and Kim naked a couple of times in the series. I think I see Frankie.
She's a good-looking lady.
Yeah,
B's a cute woman. She's a good-looking woman, too.
she.
And Kim, there's a lot of cute girls in there.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know that there's necessarily something I would change. I did find the first episode, the very first time I watched it, and we talked about this before the show, just ever so slightly dry. However, I don't know that I would change anything because I like the development. I like how they pull you in. I like that they show her life prior to prison ever so briefly.
Sure.
And you're slowly drawn into each one of the characters. Not too much, but not too little. You see a snapshot of Boomer, like you said.
Right.
The dynamic between Frank and Jax. I don't know that I would change it because I think it gives something for everyone to decide to move forward with the show.
Yeah, because they don't force you to like or take sides. They don't force you to take sides. You take sides on your own of who you're going to root for and who you're not going to root for, which I think is cool. There wasn't
and it
like,
shows you the ugly, the likable.
Right? Yeah. They didn't just say, okay, Frankie's just a bitch, and she thinks she's a badass. There's so much more to it.
It's not one-dimensional characters. They really
absolutely
dig in.
not. You can start out loving one character and then hating them by the end of the season.
Yes, very much so.
See, Frankie seemed shitty, but she did seem like just kind of young and just like a lot of energy, but probably scared, like Jax said while she was cutting her tats.
Right.
But where Jax seemed just like this cold-hearted, manipulative bitch.
And to me, that's what she is for. I mean, that's what she is.
Yeah, it never digs into her character beyond that.
It digs into her character of like how long she's been a badass bitch.
Absolutely.
It was not prison that made her a badass bitch.
Okay, let me ask you this: where are these ladies getting makeup? There's so much makeup, right?
They can have all kinds of stuff.
They can have makeup in there.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of these ladies are done up. Okay,
if you're top dog, you're gonna have whatever you're gonna have whatever you want. You're gonna have tea and crumpets all day long.
Well, I was excited because when the show first started, right before the credits, they bring B in, and then B looks at this woman, and the woman looks like she's young and blonde, but she looks disheveled.
Why this part got overlooked. I know where you're going with this.
And the woman was just like kind of just staring at B, and then
She pisses herself. I wondered why you didn't bring it up at the beginning.
But the woman to me, she wasn't wearing makeup.
No.
And I was like, or if she did, it was meant to look like she wasn't wearing it because she had like some blemishes and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is going to look real. We're going to have these women in here that don't have any makeup on it, but that wasn't the case. Like Jax is fully makeup, but Frankie has a ton of makeup.
Yeah,
on.
But Frankie and Jax are like two of the top dogs.
They've access to everything, and everyone's kissing their ass.
Because you will see in this, there's a lot of the women don't have like Boomer.
Yeah, Boomer's character very much so. You'll see later on in the seasons if you were to watch. I mean, it's just pretty raw, and I can see where maybe that did affect her outside of the show because she gets rough.
Right? Yeah, she gets rough. But I mean, like she's not high on the totem pole, so she doesn't have the things that that.
Okay, I didn't realize what was allowed in there. I didn't know if it was just a thing where it's like.
And I think
like, okay, they wear makeup. They got to look nice for the show. It's fine.
And I think that girl, at first, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, she's
which girl?
The girl that pees herself. Oh, she's just doing it to scare B. She sees somebody coming and trying to scare her." But I think it has something to do with she had swallowed stuff too, and I think she was messed up. I think she was messed up
from the drugs.
Because it's referenced later on that she was the one that was muling stuff in.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of drug muling going on.
It definitely seems like it, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
It's a popular show. I tell you what, there's a lot of information out there about it, but we'll go over just a few quick things. It's on Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think this season the critics thought of?
Out of 100%. Out of 100%.
Do you need to take a nap?
It's the oxygen in here.
Take a nap. Go to sleep.
I'd like to have a beer.
What are you drinking there?
The fucking only thing in the house is seltzer water, lemon lime.
God, you're the lamest motherfucker.
Caffeine free.
Ever.
If you're gonna restrict my drinking, at least buy me some fucking soda.
Amen to that. Mountain Dew.
See what kind of prison I'm in.
He's a Mountain Dew boy. Do you Mountain Dew at work?
No, I owe Glory. I owe Glory at work.
Old Glory.
I'm still doing Old Glory.
Are they still 99 cents?
Damn right.
God bless them for not raising the price. Yep. Right. If there's one thing Trump has done right, is not raise the price on Old Glory.
If people see me for the first time with one and they think I'm drinking a 16-ounce tall boy of Budweiser.
Charity, who are you voting for in 2020?
I'm not voting for Trump.
You don't have to answer any questions.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I mean, honestly,
who would you like to see as the Democratic candidate?
That's a tough one. I like Warren. At this point, I'm willing to vote for Ronald McDonald if he's can get Trump out.
Just
of
so
office.
everyone at home, because there's some people who listen across the sea, and not from America. Ronald McDonald is not running for president.
Well,
Just so we're all on the same page.
like I said,
If
Mickey
he-
Mouse, anyone that is potentially gonna to get Trump out of office. If it was today, I would probably say Warren, but I have a feeling it's going to need to be Biden or Bernie if we have any chance.
I think
still don't think
Bernie-
we're ready for a female. I'd like to say that we were.
I don't. I think we are personally ready for a female. I don't like Elizabeth Warren. I will say that.
What don't you like about Elizabeth
It's the
Warren?
haircut. It's all there.
It's completely superficial.
I like
substance, just the hair.
I like Bernie. I like Bernie. He's too radical to win. I don't think
for
he can
me,
win.
it's the hair for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I respect that. I respect the hair. This is. I think our best chance would be Biden with Yang or Biden with Buttigieg or Buttigieg. I don't know how to say his name. I think that'd be the best. I think that's
You don't
the
think
best.
Biden's
ticket.
going to go with the way of a female though?
What's that? With a lady? What
Yeah.
lady? Kamala Harris? Good Lord.
I
I
don't think that would work, but
I think
I've assumed this whole time that if it's Biden, he's going to choose a female.
he very well could. So he can smell her hair and be weird with her.
Put her
talk
arm,
about Joe like
hand on
that.
her shoulder.
Uncle Joe. I like Uncle Joe.
Miss Joe. Bring back Joe.
I don't know what lady he would choose.
No, that's an excellent question, and I can't imagine that he and Warren would necessarily jive, but I would definitely vote for Biden.
Yeah, I think him and Yang or him and like Buttigieg would be great. I think they cover different demographics to where it'd be a nice net of because I heard Buttigieg was like older people love him, which is an odd thing.
He's got a military career that's
yeah.
appealing to.
Yeah. But I mean, he's a gay guy, so like you would think that'd be like the old people wouldn't necessarily be on board with that, but they like the military aspect.
He's conservative looking.
I agree. I think he's a great candidate.
He
So
looks-
I think
yeah.
those guys would be awesome together. Blake? Blake's not interested in politics at all. He says
Blake's not blinking.
okay. Let's. You want to do the Rotten or the IMDb score?
IMDb for the pilot.
Yeah.
7.6.
This is out of 10. Decimal point in play.
Just
I'm
for
going to say 8.9.
8.4. Very close.
Ooh,
8.4.
good job.
And that is from 427 ratings.
Do they have an Australian IMDb? Probably would have got higher over there.
I wish. I scoured for hours for that. It's no go. Viewer reviews. 7 out of 10 stars. Welcome to Wentworth. Overall, then, this is a promising introductory chapter. We meet the characters. We enter the location we're going to be trapped in for the rest of the series. We learn B's backstory. The acting is of a generally high standard, the writing competent always, and occasionally shining through. The theme tune is moody and haunting, and the visual style is sparse and individual. The ending is superb, shocking, and evocative, promising, as it does, an irrevocable change for all concerned. It's a good opening, but it has all led to this single moment, and it does not disappoint. Promising, but ready to take off. And that's by Clockwork Avocado from November 21st, 2013. So the very same year in which the pilot was introduced. That's someone else. That's one person's score. What about your score, Blake? What do you think? Huh?
Ladies and gentlemen,
You want my final score?
Well, in a second here.
Local time is 11:11, and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and
get it.
comfort, please
69.
remain
Get it.
seated with your seatbelt fastened.
It's 69 is when two people make a decision to go mouth to genital. That's what 69. Oh, you looked at. If you knew that already, I apologize.
No, I didn't. I've often wondered.
Well, you're welcome then.
Thank you. I don't have to Google it.
I will be a 14-year-old boy for the rest of my life.
Uh-huh.
I will stay that way, and I don't care.
Virtually hairless.
Okay. This television program,
Right.
the series,
Right. We gotta grade it, man.
you
gotta grade it.
You gotta grade it. I can tell you that this thing keeps you on your toes. It's very bingeable because the cliffhangers of each episode, not all of it, but I mean, they're so good. You want to see
What's next?
I can't
What's
wait.
next?
Yeah,
What's next?
yes.
What's next? Oh,
and so it definitely keeps you engulfed. And what?
I think it's like
Entrenched?
I think it's engulfed is the
Engulfed.
word, but you keep saying engulfed. Like you're taking like a 64-ounce drink in a styrofoam cup from the local gas station.
How is it pronounced?
With
Engulf.
an F, engulfed, like
Engulfed.
the Gulf War.
Yeah, but I
No,
think
he
like,
really is saying engulfed.
right?
Yeah, I just saw that.
So it keeps you engaged, but you keep saying engulfed like you mean engulf.
No, I mean like engulfed, like it engulfs you.
Like you keep wanting to chug down
You've
more and more
created
content.
a word. So he knows how to say it. He's just choosing to say engulfed.
He's making a very strong decision here. All right. Well,
Stick with your bit, right?
the scoring system is as follows.
Well, you ask her about the snack that she would probably eat, and you ask everybody that's never been on the show before
What?
how they say the snack.
Oh, okay. I don't ask everyone. That really threw me off. So you go to the mall, right? And there's a place called Auntie Anne's. Are you familiar with Auntie Anne's? Sure. And what kind of food do they have there?
Pretzels.
Okay, that's exactly what I would say. But Captain Philip Ressler says something different. What do you get at? What do you order at Auntie Anne's?
Pretzels.
A what?
Pretzels.
Pretzels.
There is at least one N in there, which there should be 0 N's.
Sounds like there's a C in there.
Pretzels.
Pretzels.
What is it?
It sounds like you're saying pretzels, like a prince and a princess.
Freddie
The
Prinze.
Pretzels.
Freddie Prinzel
Freddie
Jr.
Prinze.
Do you want to build a snowman?
It doesn't have to be a snowman.
That's my favorite part.
1 out of 7 is the scoring system we have set. It's taken from the television program from the 1900 and 90s, affectionately and accurately known as Wings. We take a look at all the characters, 1 being the worst score you can get. That's the character goes by the name of Roy Biggins. And 7, that's the best score you're going to get, and that's a Brian Hackett. Charity, thank you for being here today. We turn to you. Yes, I hope you had a good time. What do you rate the pilot episode of Wentworth, 1 to 7 scale?
I'm going to say 5.
Okay. It's a good score.
Yeah.
That's a good score.
Now, okay, last week we watched The Sopranos, and I know a lot about The Sopranos. I love the show. I said I know the whole series. Here's the pilot. Here's how I rated the pilot, but I rated it based off of what I know from the rest of the
and I
series.
tried to, and that's what I didn't do. My 5 is based off of the pilot only.
And that's what it should be.
And if
Okay.
I was going off the whole season, I would probably go a bit higher.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that 5 is literally pilot only.
Okay. Wow, that's good and solid.
And
And
I understand it's hard to do.
Yes.
But I focused on just this
Hey,
episode.
imagine us doing that for years and years and years.
I don't know how you do it. It's one of the toughest jobs out there, clearly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Blake and
embalming people's easy.
Oh my god, that's
Okay,
can
walk in
never-
the park.
Rating pilots is tough.
Captain Philip Ressler, I turn to you. How do you rate the pilot episode of Wentworth?
I myself got sucked into this right off the bat. It did not take long. I didn't feel that this episode like drug along. I do feel there was a lot of people to keep track of, but I think they did a good job of kind of like
with the
focus.
pilot, I felt like they did okay with
Yeah,
having
but then it starts to
Yeah.
But like compared to The Sopranos, I needed to know 15 people, and this one I needed to know 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I felt like I needed to only know. I want to give it a 7, but I think that if I do that, then I'm just it's too much of the whole thing. So I'm going to give it a 6. I wanted to say 7. Believe me.
I believe you.
Do you
Yeah.
believe me?
Yeah. I believe you.
Okay.
Okay.
Jason,
yes.
Jason,
Thank God.
how do you rate the pilot episode of Wentworth?
I remember a few months ago, maybe even 6 months ago at this point, you're like, hey, I'm watching this new show. It's an Australian prison drama. And I immediately thought, oh, Dee Dee talked to him about this, and he's into it, and that's great. That's awesome. Orange is the New Black, to me, there are a lot of parallels there on the little I know about both shows. They're both prison dramas based on women.
Right.
Those are huge similarities to me. I've seen an episode of Orange is the New Black, wasn't super interested. Wentworth, if someone just told me the premise of the show, I'd be like, huh, okay. But I probably wouldn't check it out. I would not have watched this if it wasn't for you bringing this to this season of Couch Pilots. I watched it. I enjoyed it. There's not a moment that I was like, oh, I'm bored or this sucks. It's a modern show.
Did you ever look at the time?
I did because I was pressed for time.
Okay.
But not because I was.
We've mentioned that a lot. There's been a lot of stuff we've watched where we have pushed the button, to pause button, just to see how much time is left.
100%.
Yeah.
But I was pressed for time, so I was keeping an eye on that. But not because I was bored with the show. Kind of like Atypical a couple weeks ago. I liked Atypical. I don't know that I'll keep watching it. I kind of feel the same about this. I think I would be more inclined to keep watching Wentworth than I would Atypical, even though I really like Michael at Rappaport from there. Right. All of that said, I think it was shot well. I think it was paced well. I think the characters were good, and from just the first episode, we got to know them to a point where it was engaging enough. I liked it.
Saw some bitches get shanked.
That's always the thing for me. I want to see a bitch get shanked.
We didn't get it. I didn't give it a bitch shanking bump.
Are you gonna? You're not.
Well, I can't. But now I've already done mine. But
I'm gonna go with you. I think it's as a 6. This is a good episode. I liked it on its own merit, just for what it is. I think this could be a standalone piece. I would be interested to see where it goes. And like I said, I've read a little bit, so I know kind of some of the things that happen going forward. But this is a good pilot. This is interesting. It's engaging. It felt gritty and real. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it loses, and I don't think it loses its grittiness either. I think it maintains a good balance of gritty. Sometimes it gets gritty, but it never gets fluffy. I think Orange is the New Black got fluffy real quick.
Absolutely.
I was talking to my girlfriend about this, and she's like, "Oh, I've heard of that show. I would like to watch that show with you."
Really?
And I was like, "Oh, okay." So people are aware of this, and she even said, "I hear that it's pretty like rough and realistic." So I think that's a testament to that over Orange is the New Black, you know. Yeah. And with that, we close the book on Wentworth, and we will never speak of that show again.
Yeah.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Maggie. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. It concerns the misadventures that occur when a sophisticated husband and wife team of actors and their clever teenage daughter move from Manhattan to suburb Connecticut and immediately clash with their new neighbors. You can find the entire episode of Maggie by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube.
So we're back to shit pilots then in next season.
This is all shit. We're watching a bunch of fucking shit.
Well, it was good. It was good spending some time with you that wasn't shit.
It was good spending time with you.
We're gonna
back to the trenches.
We're gonna go back to be dehydrated and losing weight.
Yeah. This is from the 50s or 60s, Maggie. So it's probably a black and white pilot. If you like the show, and I can't imagine you do, and you want to contact us, go to couchpilotspodcast.com. You can hear all of our episodes there, all of our links to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, our hopefully defunct Instagram. It's all there. You can give us a call at 910-PILOTS-1. It's 910-745-6871. Leave us a message, and we'll read we'll play your message on the show, and you're going to get frequent flyer points.
Yeah,
right?
We haven't talked about frequent flyer points in a long time.
Yeah. Anyone who listens to the show is a frequent flyer.
Yeah, you get points for downloading the show, telling a friend, posting a comment, calling in.
You know what my favorite thing is when someone first hears about the frequent flyer program, they're like, okay, so what? So what does that mean? They get points for what? Exactly. You get points and you can redeem them from goods and services rendered, right? What else can you get?
You can get signed aviator glasses.
Mm-hmm. Used underpants?
Used underpants.
No used panties. No, we don't deal in panties.
No. We got some signed posters.
Yeah.
And
surprise prizes.
Surprise prizes. It has been a long time. We our biggest surprise prize box went to Lori Garcia.
Yeah. She got some great stuff.
So, if you're... And it's all calculated from the pachinko machine.
We have 2 7,000-pound non-electrical. They're operated essentially by punch cards. They're pachinko machines. That's right. And they help keep us track of all the numbers and everything associated. Downloads.
Lately, we've only been having to turn one on.
We're letting one rest. We're alternating it. Kind of like in league play at bowling. You go back and forth on the lanes. It's kind of the same thing with pachinko machines.
And... we did not. Real quick, we're trying to get rid of all garbage. I'm sorry, Jerry. But this year we did not sell the tickets for CouchCon from Christmas to New Year's.
Yeah, that's kind of a
a big thing. So,
yeah, more development on
but
that.
we've got some.
forward.
I think in the upcoming season 23, we're going to give you some information
Yeah.
on Couch Con 2020. Charity, you're more than welcome to come. Last year it was at Wembley Stadium in jolly old England.
It coincided with our 200th episode, which is about 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Do we have like? It was like 17 people.
Yeah, it was
We
a lot.
had
of
a
people.
lot of guests on that show. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
So yeah, but CouchCon's always a good time. So
Absolutely.
we didn't forget about it.
Charity, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You definitely didn't have to do it, but we're glad that you did. We love new guests. We love talking to people. And my God, what a story you have about putting tubes in people. That's incredible.
There's more to you than that.
Absolutely.
You think
but
so?
But I adore Charity. A lot of times I have bad days, and I see her a message pop up from her that it says something ridiculous about something, and
Yeah.
it
helps,
It
right?
helps.
Helps the monotony of sitting in
Right.
front of a computer all day, right?
Yeah, we have a good time. She asks me to get stuff done. I do it real quick, and
Yeah. Throw in the occasional wildly inappropriate message, and
well, that's
we know how to pass the time.
right.
You gotta do it
That's
somewhere.
me, right?
Well, I'm glad you came.
No, I'm
Thank
very
you so
glad
much.
you came.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I hope it wasn't too painful. Dealing with Jason.
I'm a little sore, but
Yeah, dealing with
It'll wear
Jason's a
off.
little tough.
Yeah, I'm a real piece of shit. Captain Philip, rest assured, do you have any messages of positivity you'd like to tell our frequent flyers before we go today?
I'm still looking for that picture of that kitten with the hanging in there with abs. I really would like to.
We want an ab for each nipple,
Right.
right?
And also, I hope everybody enjoyed our Christmas in February song.
Mm-hmm.
It's already out.
It's out by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
But while we're recording this, is it done?
It's 99% done.
Can I hear what you have so far or not?
I'd rather wait.
Okay.
No, I'd rather wait till it's all the way done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about it when we're done recording.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. I got to get the Wentworth thing. Say something else real quick, Captain.
This pilot may have been rough. No, it wasn't rough.
go
It was
ahead.
great.
Yeah.
And thanks to Charity, I watched this whole thing, and I'm in love with this show. And if it wouldn't have been for her telling me about it, I would have just been watching Handmaid's Tale. This pilot was not rough. It was great, and it's going to continue season 9, 2020, just like Bernie. This song is like sexy, right? Do you think so?
Yeah.
it's actually a little bit similar to like the Sopranos thing. The like cadence is similar to the Sopranos beginning.
The crescendo.
Woke up this morning.
That's right.
Yourself a gun.
See?
Yeah.